Well, she was found not guilty of murdering a newborn, and she has never talked publicly until now. It's a story you'll only see right here on WSBT.
Yeah, the discovery of a dead newborn in a garbage bag near the Phillips home in LaPorte County still has people wondering what happened, whose baby it was, and who put it there. Will there ever be justice? Tonight, WSBT's Cindy Ward talks with the woman at the center of it all, Kathy Phillips. She is telling her side of the story for the first time.
It's been 7 years, and I think it's time for me to be heard.
The last time we saw Kathy Phillips, she was walking out of a courtroom, found not guilty of murder and neglect of a dependent in the death of a baby found near her home 2 years earlier. Technically acquitted.
Acquitted with the people in the community? No, I don't believe so.
On March 12, 2006, Kathy's husband, Gary, told police he found a newborn in a garbage bag while he was working in the woods near their house.
What he did is he got the bag and he was taking it up to the road because that's what he thought it was like. I don't know, something like a dead deer carcass or something, because he said there was a stench. And then he got curious and opened the bag, and that's when he discovered what it was.
Kathy says she never saw the baby.
All I remember is him come flying through the front door. And he's like, I need my phone, I need my phone. And he says some explicit stuff. He's like, I found an effing baby, you know, and I'm like, what?
Gary called police. He and Kathy were questioned. Police took DNA samples. The Phillips became suspects. And at trial, jurors heard it was a match. Chances were better than 99.99% that Kathy and Gary were the parents.
I was never pregnant.
Kathy has maintained her innocence throughout.
We were not the parents of that baby.
She says pictures proved she wasn't pregnant at the time, but a cousin testified she thought Kathy was pregnant. For jurors, it came down to DNA. They believed Kathy and Gary Phillips were the parents, but because a medical examiner could not determine whether the baby was born alive, the law would not allow them to convict Kathy.
She has to live with what she did.
A life was definitely taken in a heinous way.
7 years later, juror Fred Sockleman told me he still feels Kathy Phillips got away with murder.
It defies logic. That's why people don't believe you.
I know.
It defies logic that DNA would come back 99.99% that it's Gary's baby, 99.99% that it's your baby.
Right.
And you're asking people to not believe that that's your baby and that, in fact, you were never pregnant.
Yep. Yep.
No one's going to believe you, Kathy.
Well, you know, and I guess that's just what you have to deal with.
But Kathy believes the truth will come out.
Deep down, I have always thought that eventually the real mother is going to come forth and say, you know, this family has gone through so much that I have to make it right.
Kathy still questions what evidence was allowed in court, and she questions the gathering and handling of the DNA and other evidence. But those questions can't be answered because the lead investigator in the case died before the trial. So I asked her, why not leave LaPorte?
I would love to get out of here, you know, but also I thought that, you know, I needed to stay here to, you know, let people know that regardless of what has been thrown out there about me, you know, it's not going to force me out of here.
Life since her trial isn't the same. Kathy and Gary have 2 children, and they are separated now.
It still is something that is hanging over our head, and, you know, it takes a toll. I mean, you know, if someone walked a day in our shoes, you know, I don't know how they would survive with it.
Kathy says she feels there hasn't been justice for her family. She says she and Gary have been separated now for about a year, but have not filed for divorce.
So is she working now? I mean, what is her life like now?
Yeah, no, not working, hasn't worked for some time, which has led to some financial problems. The Phillips lost their house, and Kathy is now living with her 2 children in an apartment, and she may even be forced to leave from there because of money problems.
Wow, that's tough. Interesting hearing her side of the story, too.
First time.
Yeah. Cindy, thanks.